I would describe obsessive compulsive disorder as being afraid for your life every day. My name is Andrew Foreman. I'm born and raised in Regina here, and I have been a teacher here for the last 13 years. I was diagnosed with OCD, I would say about 9 years ago, and you know what, it wasn't a surprise to me. I had kind of already felt like I knew that I had that, but there was some relief in that, you know, I knew that there was something different about me, and when the medical community told me that I had obsessive compulsive disorder, there was a little bit of relief just knowing that it wasn't just me, you know, there was something else going on.
Obsessive compulsive disorder is a long-standing condition. In this, a person experiences recurrent thoughts of uncontrollable nature, or they engage in repetitive actions. We call these obsessions and compulsions, and they can happen just as obsession or compulsion, or both.
In the spring of 2022, it was definitely the hardest part of my life, and things were so bad that every morning all I was trying to do was successfully make it through the day, get back to my bed, because my bed was the only place that I felt safe. So when my alarm went off in the morning, every day I just didn't want to get up and face, you know, what the day had in store for me. But most of the days anyways, I managed to make it out of bed. But I remember one day I got to school and it was raining, and I got outside of the car and I just was froze. I couldn't walk into the building, and I stood out in the rain for about 45 minutes before I could finally get myself to come into the classroom. And I remember getting into the class and I was soaked, and I remember I couldn't tell what was rain and what was tears. It was just one of the lowest times of my life. But I still managed to make it through the day, and so the sun came up the next day. In my teaching, obsessive compulsive disorder comes up both in the context of talking about like the nervous system, for instance. One of the things that I like to talk about is the importance of using terminology correctly. Like, just actually this morning I heard someone mention, they said, "Oh, that's just my OCD," and I kind of cringed a little bit because I think they're misusing the term, and by just kind of throwing it out there, we are kind of, you know, taking some of the meaning away from it.
They want to ensure whether they really have obsessive compulsive disorder or not. And the reason I say that is, commonly in our language we use the term such and such person is obsessed with X, Y, and Z, right? Or for example, we can say, my friend is obsessed with playing video games. But that is not associated with distress. And it's a pleasurable activity that one really wants to engage in.
I like just kind of telling also personal stories about, you know, difficult experiences that I've had with it, because I think everybody goes through difficult experiences, and, you know, sometimes teachers say, we're imparting wisdom, and a lot of students don't realize that, you know, we've gone through some really hard struggles as well. You know, I think a lot of times students feel like, how could a teacher understand what I'm going through? But there's, you know, probably a lot of us that have had really difficult times and difficult experiences, and we know exactly what it's like. So the best part of my job about being a teacher is it's also the same thing that's hard for me, which is the uncertainty, the unpredictability. I love coming to work and not knowing what's going to happen that day. Kids are funny, and every day I laugh because kids make me laugh, and I think the best part of the job is just every day is different.
Hi, my name's Fiona Babar. I'm a grade 11 student in Mr. Foreman's class. I think it was like mid-September. I remember walking into his class, and I was so tired and exhausted. I turned and I looked at the clock and I told myself, okay, Fiona, you only have like 30 minutes left, and then you can go home, sleep, relax, whatever you want to do. I went and I sat at the back because that's usually where I sit. I turned and looked at my friend and I told her the same thing, and she agreed, and she said that she was so happy that we finally get to go home. I think within 10-ish minutes, I started laughing about the most random thing, and it was like, I think someone in my class asked a question, and it was like one of those questions that weren't really health science related. It was really off topic, but the way Mr. Foreman was like ready to go and the way he replied was so funny. I think in that moment, I truly realized how much fun I have in his class.
The advice that I would give to someone with obsessive compulsive disorder would be to lean into people that care for you. There are people that care for you, and it's hard to ask for help sometimes, but just know that it's okay to ask for help.
I hope Mr. Foreman realizes the impact that he makes in my life, everyone around me, and him. I hope his story helps other people that are dealing with mental illnesses too, just like him. And I hope they know that it's going to be okay.